Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Exam Vikings. Today we'll be discussing two important topics which are in the current affair recently. First is genetically modified crops and the another one will is pollution in India. So first go through the genetically modified crops, GM mustard, and then we'll be discussing about pollution. Okay. So first of all, the GM, this all topics is because of GEAC has given to the genetically modified mustard. It has some of the benefits, some of the concern. We will discuss each and every step by step. But before that, we have to first understand the scientific progresses, scientific processes, steps that are included in the production of genetically modified crops. Alright. So first of all, we start with the very first basic definition of the GM crops. What are GM crops? They GM crops are derived from the plant whose genes are artificially modified, usually by inserting genetic material from another organism in order to give it a new property such as increased yield, tolerance to a herbicide, resistant to disease or drought, or improved nutrition value. In sum total, that when we are taking a gene from one organism and put it into the DNA of another organism in order to have a favorable characteristics that could benefit humans or the species is termed as genetic modification. When this GM engineering, genetic modification is done in crops, it is called GM crops. Genetically modified crops, GM mustard, its scientific name is important from prelims point of the view, Brassica juncea. It is generally referred as DM hybrid 11. So let us go deeper into how they are developed. As we have discussed that genetic modified plant mold adding the specific stretch of DNA into plant's genome, giving a new and different characteristics. So let us understand this thing. There is a nucleus. Nucleus carries the DNA. Okay, DNA is like this. But the DNA itself is divided into the segments called chromosomes. In humans, there are 23 chromosomes. We all know that. Okay, so these chromosomes then carries the filaments of DNA itself. But out of this, all filaments of in chromosome, every segment is not functional. It is only a certain segments in the chromosome that are functional that provide characteristics to a gene, to a organism. All right. In this, we can say that 99% of the portion of the chromosome is empty, is useless. It is only the 1% segment of the chromosome that provide it characteristics for which the organism is known. So this unit of the DNA within the chromosomes is called genes. Genes is the functional unit of the DNA that provide characteristics to the unit. And the chain of these genes is called genome. We can conclude that in a cell there is a nucleus. In nucleus there are DNA is divided into chromosomes. The chromosomes carries a long chain of the DNA. DNA all in chromosome is not at all functional. Only 1% is functional. This is called this 1% is called genome. This genome is further divided into genes. Genes are the DNA that are known to provide features and characteristics to the organism. This is our understanding. So, how this technology is used for the development of GM mustard? Okay, but first of all, we must understand the two methods on which through which the GM genetic modification is done. First is use of the bacteria that supplies that carries the foreign DNA and supplied it to the host DNA. This wall of the bacteria soon decomposes and this provides this access of the foreign DNA to the genome of the host organism. In a second, particle gun method in this genomes of the foreign organism is bombarded onto the genome of the host organism. This replaces segments of the host DNA by the foreign DNAs, thus providing the new organisms on which the foreign DNA is introduced. So these are the two methods: Agrobacterium to Bayesian method and particle gun method. How these are developed used method are used for development of GM mustard. Contains two genes, two align genes, Barnes and Burstar. What happens when the use of Barnes gene? It suppresses the male fertility and Barstar suppresses the female fertility, dominates the male fertility. In GM crops in general has a self-pollinating tendency because it has both female and the female reproducing organ within the same plant flower. So it ends up getting self-pollinating. This self-pollination reduces the immunity and variety of the mustard that reduces its ability to resist the external changes or to be more flexible to the external environment. कभी कभार बारिश ज़्यादा है तो कुछ सेगमेंट ऑफ द फ्लावर खराब हो जाते हैं, कभी कभार धूप जाता है तो कुछ सेगमेंट खराब हो जाते हैं, तो ये वैरायटीज़ नहीं आ पाती है कि शायद कुछ ही खराब हो। अगर ऐसी कोई वैरायटी है लाइक जो धूप से तेज सनलाइट से अफेक्टेड होती है, तो मस्टर्ड के केस में हो सकता है कि पूरी फील्ड ही खराब हो जाए बजाय किसी सर्टेन पोर्शन में खराब होने, क्योंकि क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन नहीं होता, सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन होता है जिससे वैरायटीज काफ़ी लिमिटेड होती है और जिस लिमिटेड वैरायटी काफ़ी चीज़ों को अफेक्ट करती है जैसे यील्ड हो गई, इम्यूनिटीज हो गई प्लांट की एक्सेट्रा. Okay, so you can go through that. That contains two line genes. MH11 has been developed using a genetic male fertility. For the mustard, it involves the use of gene. Is the soil bacteria that is used from which these two genes, Barstar and Barnes, are taken. The first gene, Barnes, is a process which turn the male plant male sterile. Okay. Subsequently, a second plant modified by the another gene, Barstar, which is a male dominated, are used to fertilize the first plant. This is the process. So till now we have understood in GM crops we are is done through the introduction of foreign gene into the host gene DNA. This is done as we know that in a cell there is a nucleus is divided into chromosome is divided into genome is for the gene. When this genome or gene is taken and introduced into another plant, we are having characteristics very favorable to what we want. In the case of the GM mustard, we use the Barnes and Burster from the bacterium called Bacillus amyloliquefaciens, which provide the GM mustard cross-pollinating ability. It has the benefits like overcoming the problem of narrow genetic base. As we have discussed, ये सेल्फ पोलिनेशन एबिलिटी जो होती है रिड्यूस कर देती है इसकी एबिलिटी क्रॉस पोलिनेट करने की। इसकी वजह से इसकी जो वैराइटीज होती है काफ़ी लिमिटेड होती हैं, जो एक्सटर्नल इन्वायरमेंट से काफ़ी बैडली इम्पैक्ट हो सकती हैं। लाइक जैसे कोरोना वायरस आया था, कोरोना वायरस ने कुछ पर्टिकुलर जेनेटिक ऑर्गेनिजम्स को काफ़ी हार्म किया था, जैसे जो कोमॉर्बिडिटीज़ के साथ होते हैं, डायबिटिक पेशेंट्स होते हैं या सर्टेन people with certain DNA sequences, they affected that, but many of the people with different genetic sequences were not much affected. Same goes with the plants as well. So it increases general genetic basis. Secondly, it could happen socioeconomic development, which means 60 lakhs farmers are engaged in the development of the mustard in these pre-dominated mustard cultivating states. Okay, further, DMH11 has been shown to deliver 30% of higher yield. Okay, increase the yield as well. It increase benefits the farmer through cross pollination, providing better yield productivity. For third, it increases the yield. Despite this, India is a nation which high edible oil consumption annually. ठीक है, इंडिया में एनुअली काफ़ी ज़्यादा edible oil कंज्यूम होता है। इंडिया में बिना तेल का खाना नहीं बनता अनटिल अनलेस कोई कोलेस्ट्रॉल का पेशेंट। ठीक है, तो इंडिया में बिना पेट्रोल की गाड़ी देख लो क्या धक्का मारते हो, बिना तेल के खाना देखना काफ़ी मुश्किल चीज़ होती है। तो इसी वजह से इंडिया का एडिबल ऑयल प्रोडक्शन काफ़ी हाई है, 8 to 9 million टन, one of the major producing or medieval or producing nation, but still we end up importing more than double of what's our domestic production. This drain our foreign exchange. So if we start cultivating GM crops through mustard through GM crops, then our farmers will benefit because of the increased yield. Our foreign exchange will be saved. Okay. Beside all this, the imports we are having of the GM edible oils are done through the GM crops. Foreign nations are using the GM crops like Indonesia, Malaysia, using the GM crops for the production of edible oil, which they then sell to the India. So if foreign nations are doing so, so why can't we itself can do so domestically by using GM crop mustard, GM mustard? We can do so, which increases the domestic yield because it's ultimately a part of our GM crops have already become a part of our food chain. So if it is already a part, so why not to take the advantage? And we have realized till now there is no something a major harmful effect that could be seen. Okay, these are the some of the main point. Besides this, कि GM क्रॉप्स को अगर हम अलाउ करते हैं तो उसका एक एडवांटेज ये भी होगा कि GM क्रॉप्स में टेक्नोलॉजी इन्वेशंस ज़्यादा होंगे टेक्नोलॉजी इन्वेशंस के मीन्स कि ब्रेक थ्रू टेक्नोलॉजी में मिलेंगे जल्दी जल्दी मिलने लगेंगे फॉर एग्जांपल द एडटेक टेक्नोलॉजी जिसने कोरोना वायरस के टाइम में स्पेस पकड़ा था आज इंडिया में ऐसा शायद ही कोई हाउस होल्ड हो जहाँ पर एडटेक टेक्नोलॉजी का इन्फिल्ट्रेशन ना हो इन्फिल्ट्रेशन मीन्स कि या तो स्कूलिंग में मैं स्कूलिंग के थ्रू ट्यूशंस के थ्रू मेंटरिंग के थ्रू डाउट सॉल्विंग सेशंस एक्सेट्रा पर एडटेक टेक्नोलॉजी कहीं ना कहीं हर घर में पहुंच चुकी है बिकॉज जैसे ही कोरोना आया उन्होंने एक मार्केट ओपन कर दी एडटेक टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए एडटेक टेक्नोलॉजी से टैप किया फंड्स आए इनोवेशंस हुई डेवलपमेंट्स हुए और आज ये प्रोलिफरेट कर रहा है यही चीज़ जीएम क्रॉप के साथ भी हो रही है और हो भी सकती है और भी ज़्यादा बड़े स्केल में हो सकती है अगर इसको अलाउ करती है गवर्नमेंट गवर्नमेंट के अप्रूवल के थ्रू ये मार्केट टैप कर सकते हैं जिनसे का प्रॉफिट होगा प्रॉफिट के थ्रू इनके अपने फंड्स कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं और उन फंड्स को ये रिसर्च में यूज़ करेंगे रिसर्च इन return will provide better technology that is more will more productive, the climate resilient, food and nutrition secure nations. Okay, will leave less footprints, will overcome the issues as well like the problems that we are facing or uh, what we call the foreign alien invasive species issues. Okay, so this can be tapped this called to counter as well with the use of the effective GM mustard. Besides this, 70 countries are already using the GM crops. As I said, that Indonesia is one of the example. Bangladesh has allowed the use of the BT brinjals. India itself is using BT cottons. Production has went up. Farm income has increased. Their level living standard has increased. So everyone is going to benefit through the GM mustard. But it has some of the dark side as well. Let us discuss that as well. So it is one of the main concern that the protesting groups are putting is that there is a herbicide tolerance. Herbicide यूज करने का मीन्स ये जो लोकल इन्वायरमेंट्स होते हैं उनको अफेक्ट करेगा लोकल इन्वायरमेंट को अफेक्ट करेगा इन अ मैनर that it will leave the toxic toxins on the soil that could harm the local ecology like earthworms. It will affect the ecology like ecology of bees. Another point is that seed can't be replaced, replanted. It means the companies that are providing these seeds, GM crops, GM seeds, produce these GM crops in such a way that they cannot be replanted. The crops that are produced through these seeds, GM seeds, are that do not produce the seeds by themselves. It means every time the farmer needs to go to the to cultivate his land, he needs to go to this company. So this goes to the cartelization and manipulation of seed cost. Third, the technical committee has already been appointed by the Supreme Court in earlier decades, which have found the unsuitability of an Indian context. Because in India, majority of the land is fertile. Besides this being fertile, many of the people are engaged in the production of the crops, edible crops. So India don't need such kind of the technology, unlike the foreign nations which are having less fertile area that is covered in snow for majority of the seasons, and very few number of the people are engaged in the agriculture. No such liabilities. So GM crops in context of India is not much of required. That is what this committee mentioned. थर्ड इज द एथिकल इशू, दिस इज समथिंग विच इज एसोसिएटेड विद एवरीथिंग। अगर आप चल भी रहे हैं तो भी ये एथिकल इशू है कि आप चल क्यों रहे हैं, बैठे क्यों नहीं है। ठीक है, क्योंकि चल रहे हैं तो आप ज़्यादा एनर्जी वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स को मार रहे हैं। चिड़िया घर में बैठते हैं तो कम एनर्जी वेस्ट होती है, कम फूड कंज्यूम करता सेक्टर। एथिकल कंसर्न इज अ कंस्ट्रक्टिव आंसर, ये तो हर चीज़ में होता ही होता है, आपको मिलेगा मिलेगा। सो दिस इज all the 3 points are the concerns regarding the GM crops. Okay, so we have understood the breadth and depth and the GM crops. We have understood how they are produced through the use of the cells. Cells carry DNA. DNA is divided into chromosomes. Chromosomes have genomes and genes. These are introduced into the host organism, which then grows to show the favorable characteristics and features. Now we have understood the requirements of these niche GM crops and the concerns regarding it. So some of the questions from the prelims or main points of the view need to be discussed. Add-ons. These are add-ons. So first, PT cottons. Question could be asked on the prelims. Said these are developed. So these are developed by Myco, so Maharashtra Hybrid Seed Company and Monsanto. Okay, it has been approved in 2025 in 6 states. These are the two things you need to be remembered for BT cottons. Secondly, this is for DMH11. So these are developed by Delhi University. Okay, and GM hybrid will be subject to the Seed Act 1966. Another GM crops in news is GT brinjal. It has been developed by Dharwad University of Agricultural Science in Tamil Nadu. Okay, and Myco. So this is about BT brinjal. It has been given a nod go ahead in 2050 by GEAC, but was blocked in 2011. What is GEAC? It's a Genetical Engineering Appraisal Committee. It gives approval to the genetic modified crops. It is associated with Ministry of Health. Okay, so this is about BT brinjals, and we have discussed this point as well already in last slide. So one more validation part is that you should go through the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Okay, prokaryotic is more primitive, it is more advanced cell. Eukaryotic are more advanced cell. So you can go through their differences like size. Nucleus is absent in prokaryotic, it is present in eukaryotic, and unicellular. They are multicellular. They are microtubes. They have microtubules present. Mitochondria is absent. Mitochondria is present. Ribosomes smaller. Ribosomes are larger. Beside all these points, vacuole is absent in prokaryotic. It is present in eukaryotics. And sexual reproduction is absent. Sexual reproduction is present. And example maybe you can bacteria and archaea in prokaryotic, and eukaryotic has protist, fungi, plants, and animals. So this has to be understood. Now we are jumping to one of the question: genetic modified mustard. This is a question from the prelims. GM mustard has a gene of soil bacterium that given the plant the property of pest resistant. No, it is not a pest resistant. It is self cross pollination. So option one is wrong. GM mustard has a gene that allows for cross pollination. Yes. GM mustard has been developed by, no, it is not developed by this. We have already discussed whom which has developed the GM mustard is Delhi University. Okay, so option is B will be right. Now another question is that which of these acts and rules regulate the GM crop production in India? Environment Protection Act, Biological Diversity Act, Plant Quarantine Act, GM policy under Foreign Trade Policy, Food Safety and Standard Act, Drug and Domestic Rules. So all of this act regulates the GM crop production in India. So answer will be 3. Another will be a difference between a plant and animal cell. We know the plant cell has cellular cell, while the animal cell do not have. Okay, that is right. Plant cell do not have plasma membrane, unlike animal which have. No, this is wrong. Mature plant has one of the large vacuoles, whilst the animal cell has small vacuoles. So answer is 1 and 3. Okay, so you have to go through these slides, have to understand what has been discussed in. Okay, whichever part you think you need to go more understand more, just have a for understanding of the data as well. Revise this slide again and again. Okay, so this will be sufficient to answer the question of prelims and mains or based on the GM modified crop. No question will be coming out of it. ठीक है, and this last question एक मेंस का क्वेश्चन होगा जिसमें आप 250 वर्ड्स का आंसर लिखेंगे. The question is, it has been done genetically modified crops can solve the myriad of challenges associated with food availability and nutrition security in India. Discuss in light of the approval of environmental release of GM mustard crop. So ये क्वेश्चन आपको आंसर करना है. इस स्लाइड में इसके आंसर आपको मिल जाएंगे. ठीक है, अच्छा क्वेश्चन फ्रेम करना है. मैं आपको टिप्स दे देता हूँ. इंट्रोडक्शन में मेंशन करेंगे जीएम क्रॉप्स एंड हाउ जीएम मस्टर्ड आर डेवलप्ड. ठीक है, उसके बाद नीड्स क्या होगी. Like we know that we have growing population, stagnated productivity of agriculture, need domestic needs in terms of food, nutritional as well, plus feeds for the domesticated animals. Besides this, we need to double our farm incomes. We are trying hard to diversify our export basket. All this need to be discussed. Plus nutrition security. Nutrition, as we know that stagnated India has large number of stagnated and stunted children, anemic mothers, plus the tribals that are malnourished. Okay, so all this could be tackled with the help of GM crops. Example, we can develop a local crops, genetically modified crop, जो अच्छी yield प्रोड्यूस करे रिमोट एरियाज में भी कम न्यूट्रिशन एंड फैसिलिटीज के साथ, और जो ट्राइबल्स की नीड्स हैं उनको कैटर कर पाए. These are all plus the way ahead. You have to think and write the way ahead by your own. So these are all the things we have discussed about the genetic modified crops, how they are developed, what are the advantages, their concerns, practice question, and the question that you will be answering. So thank you all. Slide next topic, the pollution in Delhi. For this topic is air pollution. It's the general definition that we must understand. Air pollution is made up of different types of chemical and gases. It occurs in the atmosphere. Whenever the composition of the air get distorted by the release of the toxins that get dissolved in the air, then this air is termed as polluted, or the process is known this whole process is known as air pollution. Okay, so we all know that air pollution is bad, but we have to understand to realize how bad it could be. First of all, the air pollution is now the third highest cause of the death among the health risks. It just above the smoking. It means that people are dying of air pollution more than the people who are smoking. तो अगली बार जब आप धूप में बाहर निकले ना सड़क पे, तो सिगरेट की डब्बी को आप देखें और उससे आइडिया लगाएं कि अगर वो इतनी लीथल है तो एयर पोल्यूशन जिसमें आप ब्रीथ कर रहे हो वो कितना लीथल है. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज Center of Science and Environment in its report has said that life expectancy in India has gone down by 2.6 years. 2.6 ईयर हर आदमी की लाइफ इफेक्ट हो रही है. लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी जहाँ फॉरेन नेशंस की बढ़ रही है, हमारी लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी कम हो रही है. Lender and children are born under 5 exposed to the dangerous level of the PM2. In Delhi NCR regions, children that are going under 5 children are getting exposed to the high level of pollutants. It can clog their lungs, their bronchioles, alveoli, they are having asthma, number of the problems. So for fourth, we can understood that average of 8.5 out of 10,000 children in India before they turn 5. It is killing children at a very fast rate. And to add the air pollution as a cause of non-communicable disease related deaths in India. Okay, you can further understand the effects on the. It is affecting the adults, reducing the life expectancy. Okay, and it is quite lethal for teens and teenagers like chronic cough, bronchitis, asthma, increased cardiovascular disease, leukemia, blood cancer. For infants, eye, lung, skin infection condition. These are all similar to the anyone. This is could be a symptom for elders as well. जिनके घर में पे elders हैं वो समझते हैं कि पोल्यूशन के टाइम में हर किसी को कुछ ना कुछ जुकाम हो जाते हैं इस टाइम पे, या उनको एलर्जीज हो जाती हैं, उनके आंखें लाल होने लग जाती हैं. ये बच्चे और बूढ़े दोनों के साथ चीज़ें हो रही हैं. fetus भी अवॉइडेबल नहीं है. सब अंडर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द लंग्स, इंक्रीज रिस्क एंड मोर्टेलिटी, ऑल ऑफ दिस आर द कॉजेज ऑफ एयर पोल्यूशन. तो अगर ये इतना लीथल है तो क्यों हम इसको इतना एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, क्यों गवर्नमेंट इसको इतना इग्नोर कर रही है. सो from UPSC point of the view, we have to understand the regions that is promoting the air pollution. So stubble burning has been mentioned as the first reason for the sudden increase in the pollution level in Delhi. The stubbles that are burned in Rajasthan, Haryana and Punjab are creating a blanket of the smoke in Delhi. large amount of the methane, CO2, volatile organic compounds, carcinogenic, polycyclic, aromatic hydrocarbons. These are all emitted into the air by the stubble burning. Okay, various steps are taken to stop this stubble burning, but it all failed. It failed because lack of the any long-term policy by the governments of the states. Farmers has to clear the large area in a very few days, so faster way available to them. Fourth is, third is we can say that stubble burning, the burning of the kills the weeds and leave the ashes of the crops from the previous harvest in only the in the land that make it more fertile. And fourth, we can say that the irrigation, the certain act in the Punjab has put a ban on the use of the water for cultivation during the winter's time. So this causes the farmers to clear their land as fast as possible so that they could cultivate the next crop before that protocol of a ban on the use of the water for irrigation comes to the play. These are the three or four issues related to the why the stubble burning method has remained unsuccessful, but we have to here restrict our discussion to the air pollution. Okay, so we have discussed stubble burning and the all the thing they emits plus O3 ozone. Okay, so another will be vehicle contributes 40% of the vehicles construction sector India, especially the Delhi and NCR region is full of construction sector. हर जगह धूल उड़ रही है, हर जगह कोई ना कोई सीमेंट को मशीन घुमाया जा रहा है, ठीक है, धूल उड़ाया जा रहा है. फायर क्रैकर्स अनदर मेजर रीजन बैन भी हुआ है फिर भी यानी लोग प्लेजर ले रहे हैं. वो एक टाइप का एरोगेंस शो कर रहे हैं कि हम तो कुछ भी हो जाए मर जाएंगे और बात नहीं मानेंगे, ठीक है. और प्रॉब्लम ये है कि ये लोग नहीं मर रहे हैं, मर कौन रहे हैं? बच्चे, चाइल्ड, चिल्ड्रन, innocents who have not done anything, elders. Okay, so dust storms from the Gulf countries during the smoke in the air. Okay, so we can put dust storms because we know that during this time the western disturbance from the Mediterranean seas, Mediterranean area enters to India under the influence of northwesterly jet streams. When they enter into the India, they carry with them the dust from India, Rajasthan, Thar deserts, and this causes the wholesome condition. And the thermal power plants are the another reason because in India, 70% of the power is produced by thermal coal-based thermal power plants. Coal have the coal that are used in the thermal power plants has 60% of content as impurities that is released in the air. So all of these factors are responsible for the air pollution in Delhi. This is our anthropogenic factor. Beside this, there's one more factor that are okay. So factors that are responsible and these are natural because देखो इंडिया में तो हर जगह ये डेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस हो ही रहे हैं, इंडस्ट्रीज भी हर जगह ही हैं एंड आईटी सेक्टर्स भी हैं, व्हीकल्स भी हर जगह हैं. यहाँ पर तो मतलब ज़्यादा ही व्हीकल्स हैं, दिल्ली से ज़्यादा ही होंगे, कम नहीं है. बट फिर भी दिल्ली ऐसे इश्यूज को फेस करते हैं. दिस इज बिकॉज द इंडिया दिल्ली इज लाइक दिस ऑल इन दिस ऑल after certain extent the sea bound starts and air has and there's a chance for the air to escape into the sea and the sea, fresh air from the sea could enter this land. These are not available. The privilege is not available to Delhi because it is landlocked. This deprives it of the issue of principle of continuity. Okay, low level of inversions because it starts to go to cold in Delhi during this October month. So this causes the air near the ground to cool down, settle, and air above the land, above the cold air to remain hot, warm. This causes low level of pressure inversion, keeping the dust particles and the particulate matters near the earth. This is could be seen in the form of the fog and smog that is present, could be visible during this time, especially after the next few days of the Diwali. Okay, the monsoon winds carry moisture. The another point is monsoon winds carry the moisture and rainfall over the country. Northwesterly, as we have discussed, that the western disturbance, northwesterly winds from the Mediterranean Asia enter into the India that carries moisture, but these are less. Moisture is less. More is the dust that enters to the Delhi NCR region. And as per the survey, there's 72% of the Delhi winds in winter comes from the northwest, and 28% come from the Indo-Gangetic plains. So there are less moisture-ridden air and more the northwest winds. Also, India and the Delhi especially to become a gas chamber in which the people are dying, elders are suffering, and the childs are getting punished. Okay, now we have to jump to how we measure the air pollution. What are the criteria? तो देख कर पता चलता नहीं है कि एयर पोल्यूशन में कौन सी एयर ज़्यादा है या कौन सा नहीं है। ये तो अनलेस आप सुपरमैन ना हो। तो ये सेगमेंट्स हैं, ठीक है। सेंट्रल पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड है जो कि स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी है, उसने मेंशंस करें कैटेगरीज एयर पोल्यूशन में 6 सेगमेंट्स हैं, ठीक है। वो गो टू सीवियर तक जाते हैं। ये प्रिलिम्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से नेसेसरी हो सकता है। ओके, नेक्स्ट proposed AIQ will consider air pollutants. ये भी प्रिलिम्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है। PM10, 2.5, NO2, SO2, CO, O3, NS3 and lead, PB lead. Okay, this is important from prelims point of the view. It is developed by CB, okay, 6 segments and 8 pollutants. Now what is CB? The Center for Ministry of Forest, Environment and Climate Change, established in 1784 under Water Pollution Act, but has been given function and responsibility under Air Pollution Act. So you have to keep this point and learn this point. It's very important from prelims point of view. Power and the function, you can go through all of them. No major thing. It's just regulating and monitoring the air. But these are two important. That Air Standard Quality Standard 1994 it was introduced, and later they are revised in 1998. But recently they have notified a National Ambient Air Quality Standard. What are these? Let us discuss this as well. National Ambient Air Quality Standards, it has 12 pollutants. Air quality management have 8 pollutants that monitor regularly. It has 12 pollutants. Okay, so you just have to remember this. Okay, so this is a National Air Quality Monitoring Program. Okay, it is a program under National Ambient Air Quality Standard. 12 pollutants are measured under NAQS and AAQS. 12 pollutants are measured. Okay, and there's a one more protocol like SAFAR. SAFAR are used to measure the pollutants level in metropolitan city. ये metropolitan cities में measure करता है, ठीक है। And these are the quality beside these parameters that are the measured through NAQS and AQI. It also measures benzene, toluene and xylene presence in the air. Okay, so one thing, it is been introduced by earth science, so it also includes the issues like parameters like humidity and temperatures, all this fact as well. It is of less importance. Main importance is of AIQ and NAQS. These are two important. Let us discuss more about them. Okay, so we know that air pollution is dangerous. There are methods to measure it, and what step based on these measurements have we taken? Okay, so government has come up with National Clean Air Program. Okay, National Clean Air Program under which we are having NAQS, NAMS, National Air Quality Management Program. Okay, that make use of the NAC parameter for monitoring the air quality. Okay, so it was launched in Ministry of Environment and Forest Climate Change in 2019. Timeline to reduce the pollution by 30% by 2024. These are the program that is initiative that is taken by the government across the India. But for Delhi purpose, a special committee has suggested the formation of new commission that is called Commission for Air Quality Management. It is a statutory body for the National Capital Region. It has replaced the CA. It is a non-statutory, has been established by the uh, Supreme Court to regulate the air pollution in Delhi and NCR region, but it has been now replaced by a statutory body called Commission for Air Quality and Air Quality Management. The Committee for Air Quality Management has introduced and revised GRAP. GRAP means Graded Air Response Team. जैसे ही Graded Air Quality AIQ में AQI में फॉलो लगता है तो Graded Response Action प्ले में आ जाता है. इसमें स्टेजेस होती है फर्स्ट सेकंड और सीवियर एयर पोल्यूशन 3 थर्ड स्टेज एंड फोर्थ स्टेज और सीवियर पोल्यूशन हुआ तो इसको रिवाइज किया गया है रिसेंटली बाय कमिटी फॉर एयर क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट एंड इसमें आप four stages हैं stage 1 stage 2 stage 3 and stage 4. Okay, you can go through them, it is not important, but have a general study in stage 2 what happens, stage 3 what happens. Okay, metro difference, dust and radiated activities में ban हो जाता है. Okay, फोर्थ स्टेज में बैन ऑन द फोर व्हीलर और even रूल लिया जाता है सेक्टर CNG ड्रग्स बैन ऑन द all of this thing, so you can go through them. Okay, AIQ is as well as mentioned here, so you could understand what are the steps taken under section 4 by the committee for air quality management based on the AIQ ratings. Other mitigation methods are also in play. Besides, we have understood the national air quality management. Okay, that Bharat stage we have know that Supreme Court has ordered to shift all the vehicles to stage 6 norms, jumping the Bharat stage 5th norms. Okay, breathe is an initiative of Niti Aayog via Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, under which the cooking fuel, cleaning a cooking fuel is to be provided to the poor households in an affordable manner. Committee has been appointed by the Supreme Court as well. Madan Local Committee has submitted its report as well. These are the other mitigation measures that are taken. Besides this, there are global concerns as well related to mitigations, air pollution. World Health Organization has taken the fourth pillar strategy. Okay. Clean air pollution was also there. The voluntary organization. Okay. So these are the mitigation measures that has already in play in the national and the international levels. Okay, but still the pollution is hard, so we have to find a way ahead as well. So one of the best ways to stop the stubble burning. If we could do so, we can end up reducing 70 to 50% of the pollution cost during this time. We can do this through the turbo happy seeders by creating a machine bank from which the farmers that are not capable to buy a whole of the machinery could take machineries on land to clean up their field in a faster manner instead of burning the field. Okay. Second is that power to levy penalties. They should be given more powers. They should be made an effective body instead of just a toothless tiger. Clean energy is another method through which we could reduce the air pollution in long term. Here, introduction of PNG, petroleum natural gas, it could be a good method, but fast adopting of BS5 norms in other parts of the India. Air quality management monitoring has to be more standardized throughout the country. Okay, multi India Delhi has sufficient transport sector as one of the sector which contributes heavily to the air pollution. Here we can go through, can do the planning and urban planning and fast urban transportation facilities so that we could reduce the reliance of the public people on the personal vehicle. They encouraging them to opt for the public transportation. So these are all the things we have discussed the air pollution. What are the reasons for the air pollution, anthropogenic and natural, plus what are the causes that air pollution and how dangerous air pollution it could be. What are the measuring methods like air quality index, air quality index like AIQ, air quality index, and national ambient air quality standards, national clean air program, and Bharat stage 5, breathe initiative, Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. These are some international standards. Okay, and we have discussed the way as well, like control the stubble burning, providing the ability to find and air quality management networks, more reliable networks, better public transportation facilities, and shifting to the clean energy sources using the solar energy for generation of power instead of the coal-based power plantations. All of this. So there are some add-ons like on the Bharat stage, fifth and sixth conditions. We have to you can go through them. And main point is that there's a reduction in 70 to 80% in nitrogen oxide level. Okay, NOx 80 to 70% reduce हो जाता है and vehicle emission real time condition laboratory condition. These are all, but these two are nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxide are important. It reduces by 7 to 80%. Okay. Now prelims and mains part of the view. National income. This question is could be asked. So national ambient air quality standard was established by the Center for Pollution and Control Board. Yeah, this is right. And the statement to state it is legally binding. It is not legally binding. So A is right. Second question is that the reason for factor of the exposure of the benzene pollution, automobile exhaust, tobacco, wood, all of these are something that could carry the benzene. Furniture, wooden paints to carry the benzene. We all know that polyurethane carries the benzene. Wood burning, we are not sure of. Tobacco exhaust to carry the benzene because there are aromatic compounds in the fuel. Tobacco smoke burning, we can say the 1, 3 and 4 are for sure. 1, 3 and 4 are there. Whichever substance is not completely burning, there are chances that it might lead to the emission of benzene. So these lead to, do release the smokes. So we can say D is the right answer. Then the next question is the main part of the view. You can have to write an answer on this. Like Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata are the mega cities of the country, but air pollution is much more serious problem in Delhi as compared to the other two. Why this is so? You have to go through this PDF, have to understand, think by your own, ponder by your own self, and create an answer in which you have to write introduction, body, and conclusion. You write on this answer and share it on in the descriptions. Okay, we will go through them and will mention the name of the student who have given the most accurate standard answer for this question. Second question is the air quality measurement. How these air quality are measured, parameters and indicators or air quality index. So you have to write this as well. So both of these questions could be found in this PDF itself. And this is all for the air pollution in India and Delhi. You don't have to go to any other source. We have discussed everything for prelims and main points of the view. Thank you. Have a nice day.